Welcome to the RadPack Podcast, your number one hangout for all things rad, weird,
and killer
when it comes to movies, nostalgia, and collecting. And I'm your host, Garrett from Born to Be Rad, aka the Dude with Ratitude, aka the G-rated superstar.
And I'm your host, Mel, from My Killer Podcast, aka Slippy Longstocking, aka the Rad Adder.
And this is, of course, Justin David from the Justin David channel, as well as Justin's Basement.
And we are the Rad Pack.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the pack.
What's up?
Hey, guys. Oh, what's up? There's something in my throat right there. I don't know what that was. Sorry about that.
Look at this. John Doe Juggalo coming in hot. 12-month member. Speaking of, we're going to do another member stream, baby.
Yeah, we got to squeeze one in by the end of the... By what?
Thanks, dude.
By the end of the night?
Do we have to do two? Maybe we'll have to do 2 live shows next month.
We're going to have to, man. It's been a while. It's been a while. It's actually, we snuck this one in because, you know, we were at Panic Fest and I thought that was our April show, but it was really our March show. So it was like, oh shit, like we can't miss a month because we've never missed a month. So which is wild.
They creep up sometimes. They really creep up on us, but we got to be there for the people. You know what I mean?
That's it. You know, the best looking podcast on YouTube, man. We got to be here.
Right.
And it's just one of those things where luckily this, you know, we do the versus shows. These are always fun. You get the chat involved. So you guys are going to be involved here tonight. And this one was actually brought up by one of our listeners, watchers, members. They messaged me and said they wanted us to do maybe like a Madman versus The Burning. So I said, you know what? Couple things. Summer's approaching. That makes sense. And we can plug the interview we just did with the director and the actor of a new movie, which is a camp slasher called Marshmallow. So if you guys haven't checked that out, we did an interview with them. Actually, was actually this month, right?
Yeah, that was just a couple weeks ago.
Oh, okay. So we did kind of get a show in, I guess.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
It
was a really good interview. The director of that movie was super cool. And we had that probably one of the, like when we saw the panel at Panic Fest, the more like, I guess one of the more rowdy kids in the crew, we got him to interview. He's a really, really funny kid who was in the movie and had a lot of, it was cool listening to a kid talk about, like we always think it'd be really cool to be in a movie and to hear a kid talking about being in a horror movie and dropping F-bombs and working with practical effects. And then the director talking about how he formed like kind of a family with this group of kids and plus the movie's just super, super cool. It's up there with one of our favorite interviews that we've done, honestly.
Yeah, they were really cool. I mean, I've talked to Daniel since then quite a bit, actually. Really cool guy. Like really loves the genre, man, for sure. And he's a big time collector and stuff like that. And the movie's cool and it's probably on its way to VOD soon. So if anybody hasn't checked out Marshmallow yet, it should be hitting VOD pretty soon. It just, I think, left the theaters. If you guys didn't have a chance to check it out, but it's a camp slasher. It involves kids and it's a cool concept. It's something a little different. And it was a good segue into this show tonight.
I dropped a link in the chat too.
All right. So Mel dropped the link for the Marshmallow interview if anybody wants to check it out, or at least go save it and check it out after the show, because we're going to need your help tonight. You guys know how this all works. We're going to put a poll up, different categories you guys are going to choose. We're going to have winners per category. And then at the end, kind of sum it up and find out who is the victor tonight. Let me pop to the top of the chat here just to see who's here really quick before we start. Adrian James in the house. What's going on, man?
I'd also love, I'm predicting, and this involves the chat. I'm not trying to cut you off, Garrett, but I'm right now predicting a blowout. I'd like to see, to those who are watching, if we oftentimes, it's hard to say what's going to be a blowout and if they're going to be really head to head. I would love to know like predictions. If people predict a certain movie to win, because I know I have my prediction and it's going to be a fucking landslide. I guarantee it. So anyway, Garrett, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I wanted to put that out there.
Start a poll? I can start a poll.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Like see a little prediction poll, see where people's heads are at. because to
All
me
right.
it's an obvious win. You know, man.
I kind of think so too. To be honest.
Yeah.
Chris Johnson in the house. What's up? Just doing my happy hour by the fire. Unboxing career opportunities. Sick, dude. Great movie.
Nice.
Are you really by the fire, dude? Listening to us right now talk about campfire slashers. This is perfect, man.
I like that.
I love it.
nice.
Sydney says, "Hey, RadPack and chat. What's up? Hope CK's around for this one. He's very passionate about opposite for both movies. Yeah, I think he doesn't like Burning, and I know he loves Madman.
I was
it's
gonna
really
say I
gonna
think he's a Madman guy.
Oh, he 100% is. 100%.
That's a wild card right there.
What's up, Dynamite Tyga? What up, House of G fam? What's up, Pack and the Radskis? What's up, man? Thanks for being here. See, Dead Pits in the Ring says Madman's a classic. Burning is a piece of trash. When can I? Wow.
Well, we already saw his vote. I saw he reposted our story and had X'd out the Burning. You couldn't even see the damn cover of the Blu-ray.
Yeah.
We know where his head's at.
Blu-ray Addict likes the Burning. Hasn't seen Madman. Dad bitch. Oh no.
Dad. Yeah.
Oh my God, Fozzie, you are ready. What is this here? Foz Rotten says the raddest night in the world was unknown. Thank you, buddy. Nubbins is here. Hell yeah, man. Thanks for being here, dude. Zach is here. Thank you. Let's get right.
It's good seeing people in here when we figure out our show the day before and only post the day of. And we still got people in here.
And we're
think
15, 20 minutes late.
Oh
God
my
bless
God.
you guys.
You
Bless
guys
you
are the
guys.
best.
Dr. Zug says Madman Mars is going to stomp Cropsy.
Oh shit. Okay. All right.
Adrian James says the raddest people on the planet, dude. Thank you
The
so
whole
much,
planet.
man. Night 90, what's up, man? How are you? Thanks for being over here. I saw you popping in my stream the other night, and I said to come on over, and you did. So thanks so much for checking this out. Smirk is here. What's going on? Spam is here. So again, a lot of these people I haven't seen in my chats for a while, maybe because I go on too late, but thank you for being here on this earlier show. Appreciate that. John Doe, some legends. Thank you, man. Don't say his name above a whisper. Yeah, we're going to talk about this. We got a bunch of people popping in. A-Dub is here. Chris C. the Slasher is here. Scott Slasher World is here. Mick Hara is here. I think both are average. Madman is cooler looking slasher, in my opinion. I love the blue hue at the nighttime camp. Better, but the Burning is overall better slasher. It is going to be interesting. What is the poll saying right now, Mel?
Okay. You want me to close it?
Sure.
Yeah, we
Okay.
probably close
Mending
that.
it.
What is it?
Okay. The Burning 64, Madman 35.
That's actually
Okay.
closer than I was expecting, to be honest with you. What do you think, Mel?
I mean, I knew the Burning was gonna win.
Yeah. Mhm.
That's kind of how I was leaning.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
kind of what I was leaning to.
So let me ask you guys this really quick, because I have seen these both for a long time. So, I rewatched them. I actually was surprised because I opened up my Burning 4K and I hadn't even opened it yet. So this was the first time I got to check this one out. And I think that what's nice about these two going together is they're very similar. They both came out in 1981. They were made and written about the Cropsey killer from New York. And interesting story about Madman was they were filming this thing and it was about the Cropsey killer. And they had people reading lines or something. And somebody said, hey, I was just over at another movie they're taking lines for, and it's very similar to this. So then they come to find out the Burning was filming with the same concept, Cropsey killer, because it's based on a real life legend,
That's
a story, right? So they had to kind of switch some things up on Madman because they were like, shit, if this movie comes out before us, we're screwed. And it kind of did happen that way, but they kind of changed theirs up a little bit, but it really was based on the same urban legend. So these movies are very similar in tone, and both came out the same year. So I think that's why a lot of people put these two movies together, which is even more interesting. And, I know we don't have this as one of our questions or polls, but even the two artworks are friggin' really, really cool. And they kind of very similar with the shadow image of the killer on here.
Yeah.
So I think that they really just work well together overall with as far as the poster art and the story and all that stuff. So it is going to be interesting. And I wanted to ask you guys, had you seen both of these movies, or was any of these a first time watch for you? I know Madman's one that maybe people don't know as much as The Burning.
Madman was first time watch for me.
Yeah, same.
Okay. So it'll be interesting to kind of hear what you have to say about it.
Yeah,
Um,
one thing that I will say is that neither of these movies are movies that I grew up with. I didn't see The Burning until we did our show. Did we just do what was our Burning show? Did we just do
Probably Camp Slashers, I think, maybe for the first ever. Oh, you know what it was? Were you part of the? We did the Burning. I think with the 4 Radsmen. I think a watch along, didn't we?
maybe? I thought we did a full.
I think we did something because I was there and I wouldn't have been on the
Okay.
Radsman.
Yeah, we did something, but that was the first time that
Unless
I
it
had
was
watched The
the-
Burning.
Maybe it was the Pack did the Burning on Fachi. I don't know. I thought I did a watch along with somebody.
You may have, but I know we did something. I remember talking about The
Yeah, I
Burning
think we
fairly
did
extensively.
something.
I think our first Camp Rad Pack, we did like a slasher thing, and I think that was probably on there.
Yeah,
So-
that was probably it.
So neither of these movies, especially movies that are like lower budget B movies like this, I feel like you either grow up with it and you have that nostalgia built in for it that may not work as well if you're watching it with fresh eyes like now after seeing so many movies. That's what I ran into a little bit with both of these movies, although I did come out definitely with a decision, like a solid opinion on both of them, but I don't have the nostalgia built in for these like it sounds like you did, Garrett. So I'm kind of going on modernized for these, and I definitely have my thoughts because I watched Madman for the first time today.
I can almost guarantee I know what you're thinking.
Yeah.
And I probably have the same opinion about Mel if this was her first time checking Madman out.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, I think with Madman, it feels a lot more low budget.
Yeah.
Than The Burning is a very clean, crisp slasher, I think.
But it still has some quirks. There's some interesting things in there.
100%. We're not going to talk about it, but man, the opening of Madman is still like one of my favorites with the song that they're singing around the campfire, the campfire where the guy's like, dragged into the night. Man, I love it, dude. I was like as soon as I saw this for the first time, I had the Anchor Bay Blue DVD, and that opening song, and before I even started singing too, like the jingle, I was like, this is so weird. I love it. And then when he's going off and the guy is telling the story and the other guy's like, hey, Madman Mars. And then you see Madman silhouette in the tree, like freaked me the hell out as a kid. So I always kind of loved this one. And to be honest, I heard about this one from listening to Dead Pit Radio way back in the 2000s because they used to talk about it all the time. And when I saw that DVD from Anchor Bay, I snagged it, and it actually became a hard DVD to get for a long period of time. But if it wasn't for those guys talking about it, I never would have got it. And with that being said, they are on this Madman 4K on the special.
That's the one I got that's been sitting on my shelf for 2 years or however long it's been. I had to crack the plastic on that bad boy.
Dead Pit's on the special features talking about the movie.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
They do a commentary or something, or
no, they just like there's like a little like documentary, and they've got like little segments in it where they'll talk about the movie and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool.
That's cool.
Fozzie said Dead Pit resurrected Matt. I actually kind of think they did, to be honest with you. But
I don't remember seeing this movie at I don't even know how this wasn't at my Blockbuster or local video stores. This must have been kind of.
Yeah, this one passed me by too. I don't ever remember seeing anything about it.
Or here, I've never even heard about it until Vinegar Syndrome put it out.
Did you? So this wasn't a Momster special, is that what you're saying?
No.
Damn.
I know. Strange. It seems like right up her alley too.
Yeah, for real. All right. So Wes is going off on Adam Green now, saying he was Madman. I see. Yeah.
Be nice to
the first order of business where we're going to need all y'all help on this is going to be category 1. Is just the atmosphere of the camp itself. Obviously we have camp slashers looking at Friday the 13th and Sleepaway Camp and stuff like that. Which one had a better atmosphere when it came to the movie? And again, they were both filmed very differently. Like The Burning took place a lot outside, so you could see a lot of the camp. You could see
daytime too.
A lot of and it looks fantastic on 4K. It looks great on Blu-ray too, because I think when they're outside, things just really pop. And you don't see many slashers that take place almost in broad daylight, and that's where a lot of where The Burning does, which is very interesting. And Madman takes place a lot at night. so it's a very dark movie in comparison. So, with that being said, the atmosphere of both movies, it really, I think, has to do with preference, I think. And I'll shoot my answer first. I don't know if Mel has the poll up already.
Yeah.
But again, I'm a fan of both these movies. I prefer The Burning here because I like the idea of having a movie that takes place primarily in the daylight, because you don't get it a lot. It brings a new element to a horror movie when it's outside during the day, because we're so used to the opposite. And I really can appreciate that, that they went that route, knowing that it was a little bit weird at the time. So I would have to say The Burning for me on the atmosphere part of it. It felt a little more like camp with the different things they were doing. But yeah, that's just me. Does anybody else, do you guys have an opinion on what you would choose?
I'm going to say The Burning too, just because it had a lot more to do with like the kids that were going to camp. They were doing a lot more of the activities. They were, in the boats, they were in the lake, they were playing ball, they were just doing a lot more things. Whereas to me, Madman was more about the counselors, and there was a lot fewer people. It was a lot smaller group. It was more intimate. It was more vibey. It was more situational. So I'm gonna go with The Burning.
Are we doing do we have like a cinematography category or no? Or
I think this probably would take place in the same. This could all take place here, I would say.
Yeah, well, I opted not to do that just because they both kind of felt similar.
If we were going from like a cinematography standpoint, I think that somebody made a comment earlier about like the night vibes of the camp. I thought Mad Men would actually like looked better as a film, but if we're talking about pure camp vibes and camp atmosphere, The Burning definitely has that, because there's not a lot going on in Mad Men as far as like it almost could have taken place anywhere. Like the camp is kind of irrelevant to the story, kind of. Maybe not to the lore, but to the way the movie plays out. The Burning definitely does have a lot more. Definitely has more of a camp vibe for sure. So I have to give it to The Burning.
Well, yeah, if you say it like that, it's kind of like this. Well, I guess we're going to talk about the story later, but Madman definitely could have taken place anywhere else.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
Really quick, and maybe Wes knows this. I don't know off the top of my head, but I see that that McHara said he loves the blue light hue at night with Madman. Now, I agree, but like I'm thinking, like, did they color correct this 4K? Because I don't remember seeing like really noticing the blue as much as I did in the past. Does Wes in the chat, do you know if they changed that hue a little bit on the 4K and compared to what we were used to with like the VHS and the DVD and stuff like that? Because I do feel like I didn't notice it as much as I did prior. So it could either be I've seen it so many times I didn't think about it, but
they probably definitely bumped up the saturation of the colors. They definitely see like the blood has that like classic almost Giallo style red paint blood that was really popping.
Yeah, I don't really remember a blue hue either, because I watched the newest 4K that came out from Arrow.
Oh,
people keep mentioning this hot tub scene to me too, which is so funny because I literally from like last night to today watched this movie 3 times.
Oh shit.
And every time that hot tub scene happened, I was laughing because when they get in, they're just like spinning around in circles for like 3 minutes.
What are they supposed to do in there? They were getting clean. What were they supposed to do in there?
Okay, first of all,
do you ever do it at a pool where you'd go like, where you make a whirlpool and you just keep going around and then the water would kind of do its thing? You never did that?
Well, I mean, I guess, but
That's
like this is supposed to be like a hot, saucy scene, and okay, so like one of the things about slasher movies, camp slasher movies, is they're supposed to be boobs, right? So I was like, I'm gonna do a boobs category, right? This is gonna be cool. I couldn't really do that. There wasn't really boobs in this one, but there was like a butt, but it was like a dude.
Yeah, the boob ratio was way too fucking low in this.
Right. So I was like, okay, so here I'm like, we're gonna get boobs finally. There was like a half of a boob. I was like, okay, that was lame. But then we get like this butt, and I'm like, okay, here's the scene where we're gonna get all the nudity. There's like hardly any nudity, but then they get in this hot tub and they just start doing this like spinny thing, and it was like cracking me up every time it came on.
See, they needed an intimacy
3 times
coordinator.
I watched this.
What did you want him to do in there?
Bang. Full
Oh.
penetration.
It's supposed to be like the sauce, right? Like,
Right.
This is when we were supposed to get
I'm
all
usually just
the
I'm just a
nudity.
spinner when I go in the tubs.
The spinner.
Yeah.
I just picture Garrett all by himself in a pool, just spinning.
Yeah.
His parents watching him from the window. I wish Garrett would have some friends over. He's just always out there making whirlpools.
Just spinning.
Just
You got, like,
spinning and spinning
you bring a-
and
you-
spinning.
We're not
You
gonna
bring
go
a girl
hang out
over,
with
like,
that
do you want to
guy.
go in the hot tub and spin with me?
Woo! You spin around in there like an egg.
This is why all those dates never panned out into anything.
No.
Yeah, you did
End
too
up
much
doing
damn
They
it.
spinning.
didn't want to spin anymore.
They
I
spun
hope
the hell out of
somebody
you.
got my Pee-wee reference there.
Oh my god. So where are we with the camp vibes, Mel?
You want me to end the poll?
Sure.
Tell me when
End
you
it.
want me to end these things. All right, get your last minute votes in. End
All
it.
right. While she's ending it, I'm gonna talk. Mikara says City of the Living Dead 4K had the blue hue removed on the 4K as well. And you know what else had that problem? And I always try to find this. I have so many versions of the Halloween movie. They removed the blue hue in one of those editions, then put it back. Or I don't know. There's one that looks different than the rest. I don't know which one it was, but I always want to try to watch those like side by side and see the difference, because they did do that on a lot of movies. Once they hit 4K, they kind of removed a lot of that stuff.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I had a small
My
technical
backup
issue.
dog.
I figured it out.
Did we lose you there for a second?
I thought we did. I thought we lost me. You guys are
He
never
was,
losing.
he was
me,
thinking
though.
about bouncing and going and hang out in his jacuzzi tub.
Yeah, I was thinking about
So you could
spinning, boobs, and all kinds of stuff.
spin.
Yeah.
And I wish to God maybe Madman had one attractive person in it to fucking latch
What?
onto. Everybody
One
looked like they had
full
fucking-
boob.
Dude, every character and every actor in fucking, I told this to Garrett, every actor in Madman looks like they have fucking fetal alcohol syndrome, dude. I'm like, what the fuck is going? No
Wow.
offense, but yeah, everybody's eyes were just like a little too far apart, and like,
You have
I'm
an
like-
issue with that, don't you?
You do have an issue with that.
have I talked about eye spacing before on?
Yeah,
streams?
you
I?
have some issues with that. Yeah, that's how
If
you
they're
judge.
you can't be too close and you can't be too far apart. I gotta have
Yeah,
something to
you don't
latch
like
onto.
that.
You know,
Would you call him a hammerhead or something? Is that what you called him?
they look like fucking street sharks in this bitch.
You're
Oh,
out of
shit.
control.
And you were like hyping the people, like, oh, there's some real cool dudes. I'm like, what dude was cool in this movie? The
I mean, I
actors, they
couldn't
are,
rough.
but that's like a thing with a lot of 80s movies, though. That's not unique to Mad Men. It's like they can only pay the actors like 10 cents a day and like maybe a couple tacos, so they have to get like just people out of the local VFW or fucking Alcoholics Anonymous meeting to
Holy
fill the
mackerel.
roles.
This is why Mel took the characters out of
See,
the
this is why
out
I
of the
said-
poll
yes.
because
Oh my
you feel like
god,
he
it
was
would have
there.
been absolutely creamed. At least we had Can't Stand You in fucking the
Yeah.
burning.
And
He
Ratner.
would have been
dude.
like the only one worth
Am I gonna
talking
tell you one more
about.
time? Ratner was in it.
And nobody
Who?
knows who that is, dude.
What the hell?
Nobody's
Ratner?
at his table at conventions, dude. His table is empty at the conventions.
No,
except for
it
Garrett
isn't.
Why does he
spinning
even
around
get
in
a
front of his
table?
table at the convention. Everyone just spun around.
No, Ratner was in Burning.
Oh, you're
He's
right.
in the
Okay, I thought we were
Burning.
talking about Mad
No,
Men.
no, the Burning.
Shit, that's my bad, dude.
We don't
That's
even
my
know who
bad.
you're talking about.
My bad. I'm just
What the
talking
hell?
shit over here.
People know who I'm talking about. People know what I'm talking about.
I do. Now that I know who you're talking. I was thinking Mad
I
Men. I was
still
like, I
don't
don't
know who you're
recognize
talking about.
anybody. No, he was
You
like
know
he was like the number 2 guy in Burning.
Yeah, he was the one that the guy kept hearing, you little weirdo, you little freak. That kid. Not the bully, but the other guy, the little guy.
Yeah,
He was
he
in Fast
recognizes
Times.
face. Yeah.
Yeah. Remember when Damone was talking to him and says, what you gonna do when you go on a date is you gotta show up at the house and put on side 2 of Led Zeppelin 4. Then he shows up, banana, banana, banana. You don't know that? You know something, Damone? People always say, yeah, I don't like that Damone. I don't like him. You know what I say? He's all right. He's a good guy. You know what? Maybe you're not. Maybe you're not such a good guy after all.
Dude, we need to have Garrett do some script readings and have Garrett do some monologues, dude, because you know some lines.
Members
man.
only.
Yeah, that could be fun if we did like some favorite. Dude, if we did some read some great scenes and we took the characters and put our own spin on them, that could be really fun for a members only show.
Can you work on that? And
well, we got to do like
however
you got to be the bully, dude, because that's that you are the '80s bully archetype, dude. Even though that's not you, you're good at that character. Get you as Johnny on Karate Kid or something, dude. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, baby.
And I can be
Degenerate,
Machio. Mel can be Elizabeth Shue, and we'll just fucking
we'll just go.
audition.
All right.
But I
I'll
digest.
take that.
John Doe Juggalo says I'm sure the members will like that when he makes like side eyes.
I thought it sounded like a good idea. We've done episodes on jackets before. I mean,
I'm in the gosh damn club, ain't I? All right. What happened on this poll, Mel?
Okay, so atmosphere, Burning 66, Madman 33.
Burning won that first one, huh?
Yeah. Yep. Yes, sir.
Actually, this is pretty cool. Mick Hara says, what if Madman was really a sequel to Dawn of the Dead and Galen Ross and the others were just hiding out in the woods from zombies, and that's when Madman showed up? That would have been pretty good. All right, number 2, guys. This is about the killer himself. This is about Cropsy versus Madman
Marvin.
Mars. Oh, Madman Mars! Into the black. I wish we were talking about. Let's talk about some of the characters in the movie. At least the Burning, man. You had George Costanza, can't stand you, with hair. I think he did a great job in the movie. It was cool to see him in a role like that. Like I said, you had Ratner there. The bully, dude, his name was Glazer. How sick is that? 80s bully named Glazer.
Yeah, that's so sick.
And the only issue was he kind of felt like he was a little slow, a little bit. And they kept talking about how jacked he was, but he really wasn't jacked at all. So I kind of found that funny because they're talking to the girls and they're like, "Oh, Glazer really likes you. Imagine trying to do stuff with him and him laying on you with all those muscles." And I'm thinking to myself, he's not even in good shape.
Yeah.
They could have picked anybody else that was in better condition than Glazer was. The best thing about him was his name. He was kind of like a weird meathead.
I agree. He was a bad, he wasn't he wasn't screaming alpha dog to me.
No, not at all. Not at all. So we can go to, the killer. I mean, this is tough. They both had different backstories. You had Cropsy, who was kind of like that. What was he considered? Groundskeeper kind of thing?
Mm-hmm.
Was that what he was? And they were playing a trick on him and he got burned. And then he was in the hospital and the guy says, "You want to see something? This guy's burned. He looks like he looks like a Big Mac."
Yeah. That hospital scene is funny. For me, it's the Burning all the way for this one too.
But Cropsy, Madman had a good backstory, but like Mel said, it kind of could have worked anywhere, right? It was about him and his family.
Mm-hmm. And we get to see what happened to Cropsy too, in the Burning.
Yeah, what happened to Marvin? Why did he look like that?
Madman Mars.
You should see the poll. I called him Marvin.
I think that's just what I don't think there was a reason. Was there a reason he looked like that? I mean, I know they tried to hang him when he got away.
The townspeople did that to him, right?
Oh yeah.
They found him and they did that to him.
And they tried to hang him, yes, and then he got away. But man,
he moaned a lot.
Yeah, they did sound like a monster
through the whole movie. I think Cropsy looked cooler. He was scarier looking, but they kind of had similar things where you didn't really get to see them and either one of them until the end, right?
Yeah, I mean, you saw a silhouette. Well, no, there was some scenes with both of them where they'd be in a window for a second. They showed little glimpses of them throughout the movie. Both of them. Remember Cropsy was looking in a window, and he's like, "Hey, what was that?" And then he was gone.
For like a split second.
Yeah. Man, this is tough for me. Like, I like the look of Cropsy on a personal level better, but I'm trying to think as a whole character. I don't know. I do think both of these movies should have had sequels, to be honest with you. I think I would have liked to see more of these characters. And especially back in that time, it would have been nice to see these get a couple sequels under their belt. Damn, man.
Damn, you're really struggling with this one.
Yeah, no kidding. Like,
just say The Burning and get it over with.
Cropsy looks like a wasp nest with him.
He does kind of.
that is so true.
Yeah.
That is
All right,
so true.
You just won me over. I'm gonna have to say Madman.
That's a really good comparison, actually.
Madman Marvin.
Madman Marvin. And he turns out to be one of the wet bandits. All those years later.
Madman Marvin.
Oh, no way.
Cropsy.
I had no idea about this. Dr. Zug said Glazer was in the Raimi Spider-Man as the wrestling promoter that stiff. I had no. I was today years old when I knew that was the guy. That's the same guy. What's that from?
I don't know. It sounded like a quote, but I wasn't familiar with it.
Sandlot.
It sounds like a
The
quote from,
Great
like, every movie, then.
Bambino. That's the same guy.
Oh yeah. Now I do.
It's your cousin Marvin. Madman Marvin Barry. Come on, Mel. Please don't.
Was Madman a British production?
Oh no. No. That was from.
It must have been.
That's
It
from
has
Back
to
to the Future, dude. Come on.
I haven't seen those in a really long time. I should probably watch them.
Holy, yeah, you probably should.
You only need to see the third one.
What?
The third one?
Everybody knows that's the best one that everybody remembers.
Of all of them, you only have to see the third one?
Absolutely.
It's the only one you need to watch. Everybody knows it.
Oh,
Too
no.
afraid to
Should
say
we do
it.
a
Cowards.
members only watch along of all three of them?
That'd be like an all-nighter. We should have did that at his house. We all could have parked ass on that floor with those TVs going. Set up a little cam.
I got another one too.
Oh, you would have made it anyway.
I would have been like, what am I doing?
I'm fully convinced that Garrett's never actually watched an entire movie. I'm fully convinced.
Never.
of that.
Justin seems to think I have
not
narcolepsy, but like
He's
I
never
think you
slept
do.
an entire night because he naps all day.
Yeah.
no, I work all
Micro
day.
nap. He
Sleeps
micro
like
naps.
this.
Rest of my eyes. People come up. He's got his hand on the mouse. He's looking at the computer, but he moves his sunglasses down. It's just
No, it's because when I'm with you, when I'm there and I'm on like vacation, it's like my body's like so just chill. Like when I'm
You just
here,
felt
it's
so
always,
comfortable with
it's always go, go, go. So when all of a sudden I don't have all these responsibilities, it just wants to shut down.
yeah.
Like
You do shut down like an android. It's just you step in the house, sit down, just power down like Megan. Little switch on the back of your neck.
oh my god.
Let's shut Garrett down.
I will say Chris Johnson is right. Madman, the soundtrack smokes burning. 100%.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
100%. Do a poll and see how many people wish that Crispin Glover was in the Back to the Future 2. Yeah, 100%. But you know what? The guy that they had and when they did like the whole gimmick, when I was a kid, I actually thought it was really him for a long time. They did a good job.
Oh yeah, that was the whole idea of the lawsuit. He won that lawsuit. Crispin Glover did.
Yeah, I mean, it was really, really well done. That's for damn sure.
I'm just kidding about Back to the Future 3, by the way.
100%.
Nobody likes Back to the Future 3.
Take a stance, Justin.
I just saw somebody.
Cars said the burning score sounded like it belonged in a Zelda game. Oh man, what's that poll saying right now?
Okay.
Who's
Let
the
me
killer?
check.
Killer!
Oh my god!
I don't remember the soundtrack to Burning. That one I didn't rewatch.
They had soundtracks. I don't remember music at all except for people singing.
It's probably just like.
That's all that's on the soundtrack.
Did I watch these movies? I watched The Burning twice, and I watched Madman 3 times in a matter of like 2 days.
Into the night.
Marvin,
Get it?
63, Crapsy, 36. How did this happen?
All right,
Shit.
we're tied 1-1, baby.
How did this happen?
I don't know how it happened. It
Because
better not
Cropsy
happen
looked like
again.
a wasp nest or whatever. That's why.
But that was like a good thing. He was like scarier, right?
He was scary, yeah.
Did we even get a full close up of Marvin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
At the end.
People don't think you watch these, Mel. They think you watched Leprechaun in the Hood instead.
I would have had so much more fun.
Any movie versus Leprechaun in the Hood, we know what wins.
Oh my god, that should be a thing.
Just any movie versus
Any
Leprechaun in
movie.
the Hood, and
What
Mel
up,
will fight to
Al?
the death.
Cow, what's up?
All right. Guys, we're 1-1 right now. We're going to take a move to the kills.
That's right, Foz.
This
I
is
will
tough.
say for me,
If you
the kills
say
have got to be the burning. I mean, I
frickin'
think
Madman.
that whole scene is one of the coolest scenes in a slasher. He just goes apeshit,
The boat scene.
comes up. Yeah. And again, because
Yeah.
it takes place in the day, it makes it even freaking creepier for me.
Mhm.
And Tom Savini did all the effects and stuff. So, I mean, that was always that's a win too. He gave up doing the sequel to Friday the 13th to do the burning. So, it's pretty cool that he was the one in charge of all the effects here. So I would say the burning for sure.
Yeah, I don't think either of them have great effects. The kills are all kind of whack, but the burning does have that scene that's pretty damn good. You actually see there's some stuff that isn't all cutaways. That's the problem I have with Madman is they're all cutaways. And also, I'm pretty convinced for Madman that the only effect they had was a torso that they just pumped blood out of. So every kill was like a redressed torso with a decapitation with blood squirting out. Because they have the guy gets decapitated at the beginning. They show the torso squirting blood. Then the girl gets killed in the car, and then they just put girl clothes on it and showed a torso squirting blood. And then they did the thing where they have like the actor's head with like some leaves around the neck, just going like, like a cutaway to that. But they were obviously working with like a super small budget. But to me, it's definitely the burning. It's more, the kills are more fun, I guess. The daylight adds to that. And that boat scene is really good. It's really fun.
Yeah, that
Cuts
was
the fingers off and stuff like that.
Yeah, that was cool.
What was
That
cool
was
is I saw an interview with Savini when he was talking about it, and he said what he did to try to make that more effective, which I think is cool, is he did like a bunch of the kills. And then he said there was like one scene where like he misses somebody and the shears go into the boat just to give the effect that they were real. Like he wanted to have them miss a couple times and hit the wood. So then it's like, so then when he did hit them, it was like, oh shit, because they seemed sharp, and he wanted to like make sure people like thought that before they were just like, oh, it's just rubber things or whatever, and to take it away. But I mean, it was awesome scene. I think it's one of the cooler scenes in slasher history, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I agree. A lot of those early 80s movies are just really tough because so many of the kills are cutaway kills. We didn't really start getting into like crazy on-screen kills maybe till like 83, 84, 85 when we started really seeing some great on-screen kills. So these both kind of suffer from just the era, I think, At least
I thought
for
the kills
me.
in the burning were good, but there were some kills in Madman that I didn't really understand. So there was like one where Marvin's like holding the guy in the air and he's just like, and then you just hear. So are you to believe that he just like broke him?
Yeah, he crumpled him like a piece of paper.
Yeah, is that what happened? He was just so strong. He was just like
Madman strength. Yeah, showing that.
That was interesting, but the hanging one was kind of good in a way. I kind of liked that one
because it goes back to them trying to hang him.
Yeah,
so it's kind of cool. Yeah,
that one was good.
Justin, when you were talking about all the different stuff and on Mad Men where they were using the torsos and stuff, were you on set during that?
No, but just to me, every kill, it was just a close up of a torso. And I'm like, if I'm going into my B movie brain, I'm thinking low budget. They probably shot this in a week. They're like, what do we got? We got a torso. So let's just use it. You know what I mean?
Which I didn't know if like little Justin was walking around and like just watching how they were doing stuff.
I wish.
Justin was the torso.
This is just guys. I am just a film historian. Okay, I just know these
You're a
things. I've
cinephile. I mean, look at him. He
I've
literally is talking
studied
about movies
film.
with like a baton, like he's some
He has
kind
like
of
the
freaking
stick.
conductor or something.
This
like
thing's been
that.
sitting on my desk for like 2 months, and I just always grab it just out of just ADD. So don't mind that.
So when the music's playing, like on the movies, are you like doing this?
Yeah, I'm
like,
double bass.
What a professional!
But yeah, I was on set for that movie, and that's what happened.
What's the poll saying about the kills?
Okay, I'm gonna close the poll. So get in your last minute votes. Get them in.
Which one of these movies should Corey Feldman be in? I want him to play every character in all the movies.
Eddie Murphy style.
I'd watch an AI version where they just AI all the different Michael Jackson eras of Corey Feldman. I want to see early 80s Michael Jackson, mid 80s Michael Jackson, 90s Michael Jackson in every role.
Okay, so The Burning wins with 78, Madman 21.
Wow, they smoked it, huh? Mick Hara says that which movie had better hiding places, a fridge or a cave?
Oh my God, when she hopped in that fucking fridge, I was like, are you kidding me,
What?
dude?
She liked that Punky Brewster episode. She was
That
checking it out.
Siren VHS looking bitch. There's goddamn eyes on each side of her head. She looked like goddamn goldfish. Yeah, feel me?
You are,
Oh my god!
I feel bad. I feel
sorry.
bad for the ladies that you meet because you must bring them home and literally take out the tape measure and put it between your eyes.
Find my women at aquariums.
It's not like
He's got the tape measure and he's like a little too far.
I don't
apart.
find my women at pet
get
stores.
out.
I don't take them home in a little bag,
That's messed up.
feeding them flakes.
You're brutal.
My bad. I'm kidding. I'm joking.
Are you?
No, I'm just serious. I'm just serious, guys. Wild card.
Okay, so we're on a 2-1 right now. Oh no. MG wants to know what you think of Uma Thurman.
She's cute.
Okay, so she passes
She
the
passes
test.
the test. The ratio,
eye
there's
test.
like a golden ratio. The eyes are within that ratio, barely though.
Oh my god.
Anya Taylor-Joy, I don't know. That's
All
another
right.
conversation.
You guys are crazy in the chat right now. All right. The next one is going to be talking about rewatchability. This is interesting. I rewatched both of these, but I will say I rewatch The Burning more than I rewatch Madman.
Oh yeah, all the way. 100% The Burning.
I don't know what Mel said because Mel did say she watched Madman 3 times.
Yeah, what made you watch that movie 3 times? I mean, I appreciate
I don't
the
know what
dedication,
she's gonna
but
choose here. She might choose Madman because she watched it 3 times today. So she's on a roll with that right now.
Well, I watched it twice last night and then once today. But last night I was distracted, so I watched it once. I was distracted, so I just restarted it, still distracted, and then so I had to rewatch it today because I didn't know what happened. So I don't know that I wanted to watch it. I just had to.
You should watch it again tonight when we're done.
4th time's a charm.
I don't think so. Okay, I've had my fill.
I gotta be honest.
Although,
Oh, go ahead, Mel. Sorry.
the more I watch it, the more I do like it. I guess.
There you
Say
go.
that.
So you're gonna go right to that hot tub scene, huh?
It's just. It's just not as saucy as I needed it to be.
And Justin, did you already say one?
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I'm gonna be brutally honest. I don't think I will ever rewatch this movie.
So is that gonna go in like the eBay pile? You think?
That's in my eBay pile, I think. Yeah.
Well, what you should do is if you're really
Unfortunately.
considering getting rid of this thing, you should announce it now because that thing is out of print. I guarantee there's people here that might want it.
$100.
What, that Madman?
Yeah.
Free shipping, y'all.
I don't know though, because the more I think about it, Madman is very atmospheric. It's kind of more of a slower burn than The
Yeah.
Burning. If I just wanted something to throw on in the background while I'm just like doing shit, it probably would be Madman over The Burning.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that.
Because The Burning is more of like a higher energy. If I want to be entertained and I actually want to sit down and watch a movie, I'd watch The Burning. But if I'm just like chilling and doing shit, I'd watch Madman.
And the music too. Into the Black.
Oh my god, I need to rewatch it because I don't remember any music.
Oh my god, that song in the beginning is amazing.
Well, you could like the song, the credit sequence.
Yeah, the
At
credits,
the
of
end,
course.
that song is pretty good, and that's what he's
Yeah.
singing at the beginning, isn't it? But he's like trying to recreate it without hearing
Yes,
the
yeah.
music, so there was like no rhythm or like tone to it at all. So I'm like, what the fuck is this, dude? Like,
Oh my god.
some
He was a real
awkward
singer, that
shit.
guy, which is funny.
Really?
Yeah. So he had his moment to shine.
Is he deaf? He's like Jeff Healy's band member. Jeff Healy
Wow.
couldn't sing, that guy couldn't hear, and they just somehow made one. They should start
all
a
right.
band.
Is there a poll up? Into the Black.
Oh, I didn't.
Cara
put a
says he
vote.
sounds like Mushroom Head when he says that. Does he? What the hell?
If I want to see this many goddamn fish in a movie, I'll watch Finding Dory again.
All right, sorry, I forgot to put a poll up. So cast your votes immediately. Yeah, I might have to change my vote. I might have to go Madman because more often than not, when I'm watching a movie, I'm dicking off doing other stuff.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay. Dicking off, huh?
Yeah,
I
what I do.
agree with Dr. Zug. He says Burning's a summer
Mhm.
movie. Madman feels more like a fall movie. I can totally agree with you on that one.
The night shots I have to give Madman, like the night scenes were, I like the way they were shot. They looked good, and they were pretty vibey.
Yeah, there is an ambiance for sure.
Sorry, McCore.
Are you gonna block him?
I didn't mean to insult you. Eyes are on the side of my head.
Be careful though, because Justin checks out if people request him on like IG or whatever. He looks at their pictures and if the eyes are too much, he blocks them.
I block people, yeah. But I give you props though. You walk into a room, you can do an ocular pat down and
Yeah,
assess
that
the
is messed up,
situation.
dude.
When you know what I mean.
Wow, Shitty Bill jumped in out of nowhere and said "dicking off" sounds wild.
You can find me over at My Killer Podcast.
Sorry, drinking.
What do you got there, Justin?
Oh, don't worry about
Oh,
that.
yeah.
It's my inhaler. I'm asthmatic. Don't be ableist. It's my.
Oh
asth-
yeah, what would
my
you say to?
inhaler.
What would you say to Rocky Dennis? That wouldn't be nice.
Who's Rocky? I don't know who Rocky Dennis is.
You never seen the movie?
I
The
must
Mask? You
know who
love
that is,
dude.
though.
Oh, the mask, not Jim Carrey, but the other one. The guy,
No, yeah,
Eric Stoltz. Is that who it was?
yeah.
I'd block him. If I saw him on Instagram, I'd fucking block. Ah! Yep, that's a jump scare. Block. At least restrict. Maybe I'd be nice and just restrict.
Justin's wild. He's wild tonight. What did you take?
This
before
stream
this?
is getting taken down.
Oh shit.
Leave Shares Boy alone. All right, what does the chat say about the rewatchability here?
It's got to be burning. It's got to be.
It says burning 6633.
Wow.
All right, we got one more, guys. Flute.
All right, the last one. I mean, as of right now, it pretty much looks like the Burning's winning. You know, obviously, if we put music into it, that might have changed things. But then if we put cast into it, the Burning still would have probably won on that note.
Mm-hmm.
So the last one is going to
So
be the
one
plot of the
version?
movie. And again, I think for me, the Burning is basic as it is. It's a cool plot. They burn this guy. It's called The Burning. He's burned. He's getting his revenge. I mean, pretty straightforward slasher type of storyline there. And it takes place directly at the camp. And then we talk about Madman Mars and, killing his family and whatnot. And the town folk beating him and trying to kill him, and then him escaping and then coming after for his revenge. Am I right on that? Is that the summing it all up there?
That was good.
He was summoned by the campers. It's basically like they both are really. I mean, they're both really a story that was told at a campfire that comes true, basically.
I didn't know that Madman was originally based on the same lore, because they definitely changed some shit around.
Yeah, they changed a lot of that one around, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what was the original story?
I don't know exactly. But, I mean, again, the urban legend for the Cropsey Killer was a little bit different than both. So it was like an urban legend. It was both in New York, where both these movies were filmed. And it was about him terrorizing a town in the 70s and 80s. Sent us around like a camp, and then him kidnapping children and all this other stuff. So I think he was more of like a mental patient kind of thing. But, yeah, I think they both kind of had their own version of this character instead of it looking like the urban legend or whatever. But yeah, I mean, they work well together plot wise. Neither of them really are similar to the Cropsey story in general. They're kind of their own thing. It's just that it's based on, I guess. I would say Burning for me.
I don't think either one of them are really all that incredibly original. Like, one
Not
of them is a
original at
revenge
all,
story. The Madman story doesn't. I don't know. He was like an asshole to begin with, and then like continued to be an asshole later. So that's kind of not that fun either. I don't know. I'd go with the Burning probably.
Same. Took the words right out of my mouth, Mel.
You're welcome.
Appreciate that. Ooh. Vomited on me.
Just giving you my words.
Giving you my words. Yeah, the Burning for me, you nailed it. Nailed it. Come on, nobody likes the Madman. Come on.
Come on, it's classic, man. I don't know if there's any images of the urban legend, but there is a documentary that I watched a long time ago called Cropsey, and it's about that urban legend.
I think Vice did a documentary you can see on YouTube about it, I think.
It would be interesting to know what the original story was.
Now I want to go back and watch some of Dead Pit's commentary about this movie. I want to know what makes them so partial to this movie over The Burning, because there's so much
I think
more
what it
opera on the surface.
Yeah, I don't know why I didn't realize Wes had an issue with The Burning until recently. I didn't know that he was not a fan of that movie, which does surprise me because I don't see what people would have against the movie. I actually think it's a really well done slasher. I think it's got a good cast of characters, the camp itself. Like, I mean,
the characters could be annoying to some people. I mean, Jason Alexander.
You could battle this with Friday the 13th easily. I think Friday the 13th was more original, obviously, because it had a better backstory. But some people find Friday the 13th boring, right?
I think The Burning, I actually, surprisingly, I think it's better than the first Friday the 13th.
See,
more entertaining. Maybe I won't say the word better, but I'll say, to me, it's more entertaining.
It's a lot less slow burn.
Right.
And that's why I think a lot of people have issues with when it comes to Friday, is that's just, it's like a murder mystery type of movie with like a twist ending, basically. And I think a lot of people have a problem with that, especially what they're so used to later in the franchise. If they didn't grow up with watching that one early on and compared it to like part 6, it's a big difference.
Mm-hmm.
But Chris said it right. Madman is a very cozy movie for sure. 100%. Burning is definitely a summer vibe movie for sure.
Yeah.
So what did you say, Mel, for plot?
Burning.
Okay.
I don't know, the whole like Madman plot line where he was like beating his wife and his kids, and then he like went crazy and killed them, and then the townspeople killed him, and then you can bring him back to. Are they bringing him back to life, or are they just like summoning him to their camp by saying his name and then he kills you?
Yeah, because I think they think he's in the woods.
So he's
We're
just
sorry,
an asshole
Madman,
all
we're
the
just kidding,
time.
he's fine.
Yeah, was he
At
alive?
least
or-
like the burning storyline, like the poor guy was just like doing
So-
his job and he was a nice guy and they were like
Yeah.
fucking with him, and then like an accident happened and so it was like it's like a a decent little revenge story.
Mhm.
There's some feels there. It's not just some asshole being an asshole, I guess.
So McHara said we should do a slasher tier list, and then everybody can kind of debate on certain movies. Yeah, I didn't realize he didn't like The Burning, and I'm surprised because I don't really see what could be wrong with it. I actually think it's a pretty strong slasher for some of those movies that came out, and that was an early one. That was 81. I definitely think it holds its own with the cast of characters. Feels like a group of kids you would see in any of those slasher movies. I don't feel like Madman kind of had that, that same feel when it came to all the characters almost felt like they played a part, like it did in The Burning. Like you had the bully, you had the nerdy weird kid, you had like the jock.
Yeah.
Everybody kind of had like their persona.
There was like different archetypes.
Yeah, for sure. So I guess in the end of the day, Burning would be considered the winner here tonight.
Wait,
yeah.
I gotta close the poll.
We know what the results are.
I mean, it wasn't a blowout like other movies.
Okay, so for plot, Madman won with 52.
No shit.
No shot.
Wow, so it was a little bit closer.
Burning 47. So lower.
I was expecting like 90-10 splits on all these towards the Burning.
You were
So
expecting a My Bloody Valentine blowout.
oh yeah, I was expecting a complete blow up. But I always I kind of like when and what I would consider like the underdog movie. It is kind of cool to see people show up for their underdog movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah. McHara says Dead Pitter from Kentucky. They favor Madman because he looks like a farm. A farmer.
That guy's my people.
I mean, he does look like a farmer.
He does
Yeah.
kind of look like an Appalachian fellow, doesn't he?
You think Uncle Bill's out there milking the cows?
But
and
does
shit?
everybody from Kentucky look like farmers?
Farmer.
Is that what's happening?
Hillbilly style.
Oh my god, you guys are nuts.
See,
Ugh.
Chris says that the hot tub scene in Madman is quite funny too. It is funny.
It is funny.
It's hilarious. They be spinning.
They felt too
We
close to home for
spin
me.
You guys rewatch that scene. They be spinning.
They do be
I wa-
spitted.
I watched that scene when I was younger. That's what I thought you were supposed to do.
See, this movie fucked you up, man.
Yeah,
Had you spinning and shit.
Dude, Ben, there's a lot of people on YouTube from Kentucky. It's actually pretty freaking scary, to be honest with you. There's a lot of people from Kentucky. A lot of
What else are you gonna do besides
YouTubers.
start a YouTube channel?
A lot of bored
Yes,
people.
that's
too.
kind
That
of
or make
everybody's answer.
moonshine and
Mid-level media is from Kentucky. Ken,
yeah,
he doesn't seem like he's from Kentucky,
that
does he?
tracks.
Wow, Justin's on fire tonight.
What does that mean?
I'm just talking shit tonight. I'm just feeling feisty. I love everybody.
So let us.
No matter what they
Let us
do with
do
the
a
farm
rundown.
animals, I still love everybody from Kentucky. Leave the goats alone.
I
Leave
can't
the
with
goats
Justin
alone.
right now.
What up, TJ? Let's do a little talk with the chat really quick.
They
The
finally
win is
got
burning.
internet.
You're just popping in. The winner tonight is burning.
We just got an Applebee's and Google Fiber internet.
Holy mackerel! He's firing up. He's itching his back with the baton. He's screaming at
Can we
everybody.
get a list of all the shit that Justin's been talking tonight?
We'll just clip them and make like a Make like
Can we make
reel.
a reel and a short and put it on
Super gutter
Instagram?
shit talking tonight. Holy
What,
shit.
what verse battles would you guys like to see? We've done I think this is probably our 4th one that we've done. So I'm curious to see what would be other good ones that we should tackle, because I like doing these because again, it's only 2 movies that we have to rewatch, which is nice. And then we do lists and all this stuff, and we rewatch a bunch of stuff.
Body horror, battle of the body horror.
And it's cool to get the chat involved. So I like doing these shows now and again. So we definitely want to do more this year. We usually do one around Halloween, so that would be another cool time to do one. And I know we were talking about maybe doing some more retrospectives on single movies, and maybe either doing it taped and have some cool edits and stuff in there. But yeah, I'm definitely down to find out if we're doing more versus battles this year. What would be some to consider? Like I said, because this one actually came from one of you guys that asked us to do it. So if there's other ones out there, definitely let us know what you'd like to see. And if you like body horror, we did do a body horror show, a list show. If you want to go check that out, it was part 1, so which means there's a part 2 coming for sure. Ooh. I see you over there, Chris Slasher. Blue Sunshine versus Shivers or Rabid.
Never seen any of those.
Dude, Blue Sunshine just came out with a new 4K. I watched it again for the first time in probably 10 years, and man, it's so freaking good.
Killer Pizza, you're correct.
Pizza.
Yeah,
the burning one.
Pizza.
Silver Bullet versus The Howling. Interesting.
Ooh.
What were we going to do? We were going to do The Howling and American Werewolf, but we changed it.
Yeah.
We changed it to the bad movies, the bad werewolves.
That was fun, though.
That was fun.
We need to do another one of those bad
ones. Yeah, I love
bad movie battles.
I love talking about bad movies. That's
yeah,
my
we need to do another
favorite thing to do. Do some animal. We haven't talked a lot about. I just did a show talk. I always find a way to talk about poultry, guys, but we don't talk about a lot of animal horror or things like that. Cujo versus something. I'm having trouble thinking of animal. There's tons of animal horror. That's something.
Cujo versus Bingo.
Oh shit! I just watched Bingo, too, which shouldn't be a kids movie, by the way.
Cujo versus Beethoven.
Pee-wee versus an Ernest movie. That could be fun.
That would be cool. But to be honest, yeah, it would be fun. But man, I don't know much that can beat Pee-wee's Big Adventure, man. I just don't. To me, Pee-wee's Big Adventure is a friggin' masterpiece from front to back.
You'd almost have to do Big Top Pee-wee versus Goes to Camp or something.
Yeah.
You should have done Madman versus Ernest Goes to Camp.
Last House versus House at the Edge of the Park would be a good one. Last House versus... But Mel will not watch those movies.
Nope.
So it's not going to happen.
Don't recommend those.
We did Lost Boys versus Fright Night. We didn't do Vamp versus Lost Boys. Actually, I did a post the other day about Near Dark versus Dusk Till Dawn would be a pretty cool one, actually. Too.
Yeah. We could take this is maybe too much of a pain in the ass, but if we took one of our more popular battles and took the winner and put it up against another movie and did kind of a what do you call it? Yeah, a tournament or something. If we ever wanted to revisit a movie and see how it stacks up against another one, see if it wins again or something, could be fun.
See you trying to win over Justin. Dazed and Confused versus the Stone Age.
Oh, the Stone Age is so good. I can fucking the whole goddamn script. Summer School versus Ski School.
How about Fast Times versus...
These are pretty good.
Last American Virgin.
No.
Oh. I'm not a Fast Times fan, huh?
Fast Times sucks.
What the heck?
I have thoughts on Fast Times too.
What are you gonna say? It sucks. It's probably my favorite comedy ever.
But is it?
You
and one other person.
It really turns into a drama once you get about 30 minutes into it, and then it's just like a episode of Degrassi or something.
It's literally never a comedy.
Yeah, it's very serious.
It's honestly never a comedy.
Yeah, I was expecting
it's not a slapstick comedy. I guess.
It's a drama. It's like a drama.
Yeah.
It is
kind of Heathers versus Buffy. That's fun.
Oh.
E.T. versus Mac and Me. Wow. Mac and Me all day.
I would never worm Crumps Brothers chicks, man. Go down to Dirty Doug's.
If
Have some
you're
talls.
here, they're here. Doesn't that make a rad time? There's someone that goes to my gym with their last name's Hamilton. So like always, I go, all right, Hamilton, always from Fast Times. Every time to that.
I don't know that quote.
Oh, come on. You guys are going to watch it. It's so good.
It's been a long time since I've revisited that one. You know, we could do some
What's
comedy
Fist
battles.
of the North Star?
Can't Hardly Wait versus She's All That. That could be kind of fun.
Yeah, I mean, I like all that stuff, but I feel like every time I try to go outside that box, people don't show up because then it's like it's just.
How did our Hot Shots episode do?
I don't know, actually.
That was fun.
I'm actually kind of excited for the new Scary Movie.
I don't. Stoned Age versus Dazed and Confused.
Mikey versus a Good Son. That's a good one.
Yeah, that's a good one. I've never seen Mikey.
Double Dragon versus Super Mario.
I would love to talk about the Stoned Age.
Jesus, our brother's gonna kill us. Our brother's gonna shit. What's he gonna do? Is he gonna shit or is he gonna kill us? First, he's gonna shit. Then he's gonna kill us.
Kill us.
And I think in the TV version of that one, he says, "My brother's gonna slip. He's gonna slip." Like he changes it from shit to slip.
Did we ever do a? No, that's too controversial. We couldn't.
What?
We couldn't. No, we couldn't. It's too controversial.
This is like that whole scene right there reminds me of another Justin on a date. He's laying on his couch with the girl, and he's like, "Are we gonna? They can't do it. We can't."
I can't. That's like let's watch Love on the Spectrum, and that's me on a date. If you want to really get down to the slow and skinny of it,
we can't do this tonight.
It's too controversial.
What I want to do is wait.
Maybe we could kiss. Feldman versus Haim.
Ooh.
The final showdown. Music. Their
Like
music.
what?
Music could be on there. Performances could be on there. Movies could be on there.
Just like everything?
We could do movies because Haim did some music, right?
Yeah.
Those
We
are
could
the
do the
categories:
music.
movies, music.
Performances.
Performances,
Acting, yeah.
vibes.
It would actually work.
You think Garrett's gonna vote against Haim on anything?
I
Man,
don't
I'm going to
know.
tell you though. I mean, I said this before. When you look at Corey Feldman's movie library, I mean, it's kind of almost hard to beat, really. I mean, Jesus, you take his movies from that time. I mean, what do you got? Goonies, Stand By Me. You could even say Ninja Turtles. You could say Lost Boys. I mean, Friday the 13th, Part 4. I mean, you really Gremlins. Like, I mean, it's kind of hard to beat Feldman's library in the 80s, really. I mean, I don't know many people I could put against it that had that many bangers in the 80s like that.
Yeah. Rock and Roll High School Forever is so fucking good.
So yeah. Somebody said Dawn versus Day. That would be good, actually. Look at Alan's popping in. Nothing wrong with a little feast on our time. Mel, remember you could be part of that.
What?
Fast Times. We could do a Fast Times show. Remember the scene where he goes, what does he say? I don't know. I'm going to write that. I like that. I'm going to write that here for all my classes to see.
Yeah, we could do Fast Times versus Dazed and Confused.
What does that have to do with me?
You always say, I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, see. Garbage Pail Kids versus My Pet Monster. You guys are killing it.
Then we'd have to watch Garbage Pail Kids again.
They stick together.
That's a movie that I want to love so much, and I always like trick myself into thinking I like it, and then I watch the movie and I'm like, God damn it, this movie fucking sucks.
Hey, Killer Pizza, well, you know what? We'll do a small promotion for Justin's channel because he says he really wants us to watch American Movie. So, Justin's channel over at Justin's Basement is back on a roll, kind of.
It's about
there's a lot. So he's putting out a new series, and him and I do an episode talking about American Movie because I did watch it. So if you go check his channel out over at Justin's Basement, hit that subscribe button and notifications on because that episode should be coming I don't know. I said to him the other day, "Hey, when's that episode coming?" You're like, "Oh, maybe like in June or something." I'm like, "What the heck?"
Well, Christian is. I got Christian
June?
to watch a wacky
Justin.
movie. The series premiere is Christian Planet CHH. He's on the first episode, and we watch a movie called Assholes, which is fantastic. And then for the second episode, we watch American Movie. And then I shot one with Cody from Dude Who Loves Movies, a little biker show. So I'm editing those shows right now, but I should have Christian's out in the next week or two. So yeah.
Yeah, and based on what we talked about tonight, I saw that Unita Candles is going to be putting out a burning candle this weekend. So if you guys want any wax melts or candles, go check out Unita Candles on their sale this weekend on some slasher stuff. The burning was one. So talking about the burning tonight, I figured I'd just throw that out there for you guys. But yeah, Mel, you just dropped a video today, didn't you?
I did. Thanks.
What do you got? Where can they find it?
My Killer Podcast.
Oh, okay, excellent.
MKP.
So Justin's got stuff coming out. Mel's got stuff coming out or just came out. I got stuff's coming out. I had stuff that came out this week. I just did a cool
Garrett's always coming.
Yeah, I just did a cool video that'll be coming out probably tomorrow night. Talking about another epic physical media release. It's probably the best, worst physical media release of all time. So you might want to check that out on my channel over at Born to Be Rad. So subscribe to our individual channels as well if you are not. And we have new content coming. But guys, thank you for hanging out with us tonight. This is Garrett at Born to Be Rad. And the Rad Pack signing off. And like always, stay rad.
Stay weird.
And stay killer.
That's right.